Good morning. It is time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts. This is Kristin Odell of Grow with KLO. I'm Tina Prigge of Vagabond Creative Studio. Thank you so much to Just Orthodontics for sponsoring the show this morning. Kristin, my friend, so good to see you.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I noticed we've both tended towards the dark colors today, kind of matching the gray darkness
I'm
outside.
like, I got dressed and I'm like, I gotta get on the show. Look, I have like this is fairly like I think I'm gonna have to switch something up here after today. After the
You can just add a pop of color with a scarf or something if you need to.
I
Good
don't know.
morning, Mary. Thanks so much for tuning in.
I have a
But you
silly
look
question. Do you drink coffee left-handed or right-handed?
mm, you know what? I almost do everything right-handed. So this is a little bit of a brain twist, right? To do it with my left hand, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, so I know this is weird because you guys can't see or feel this, but like I'm also right-handed. Look at my man hand. Good God. Um, I'm a right-handed coffee drinker. But Just Orthodontics gave us these amazing cups because they're our fabulous sponsor, and it just so happens the logo goes for the show only if we're in the left hand. So I do have to think about this a little bit, I gotta say.
Yeah, I have to think about it too. Now, it's interesting because when you're branding items, it's an important conversation, right? Because in a way, it makes sense to have the logo. A lot of people drink right-handed, right? And so now myself, oh, I'm seeing the logo. I get to appreciate it. But nobody else can unless I switch hands, right? Now I don't see the logo, but everyone else does. So it's almost important, I think, when branding an item like this to make sure you do both sides so that no matter which hand somebody drinks out of, both the drinker and the viewer can appreciate the branding.
I mean, you heard it right here. Not only do you get to come and have a conversation with us, you get marketing, promotional material support. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Right, right. Hey, you could ask for a Valentine's on Valentine's Day, which I know that you had one, I had one, but I saw this meme and it said, if you don't have a Valentine on Valentine's Day, don't worry, because most of us don't have a shark during Shark Week either.
I love it.
So true.
I love
So
it.
true.
Yesterday, sorry, my eyes are really watery today. This happens. Maybe it's the wind. I don't know. So sorry if I'm doing this. I'm not crying, I swear. Um,
Kristen,
yes,
it is okay to cry on this show. It is okay to cry if you're watching this show. There's no judgment here, and you are free to express your emotions.
thank you. Um, Yesterday, I had the pleasure of delivering flowers for the flower gallery yesterday afternoon. So I was a special helper because on holidays like Valentine's Day, especially when they fall in the middle of the week, they're very, very busy and they want to be able to bring joy to as many people as they can. And when they have delivery drivers, if they have like the stylist, the floor stylist, and they have enough delivery drivers, they can obviously make more people have joy. So I got to deliver yesterday, and my best like delivery of the whole day was this cute little couple, and there was just instructions like go to the side door. It's like, okay. So I rang the doorbell, and the cutest, littlest old man came to the door, kind of like if you guys have seen Up, where he's just like this very cute little compact, and one little drop of like s- nose drippage on the end of his nose. And he was like, oh, those are for us? And I was like, yeah. And I won't say the woman's name, but I was like, is so and so here? And he was like, yeah. And she came coming around and she's like, oh my gosh, those are for me? I'm like, they're for you. They were so surprised and they were the cutest, sweetest little old couple ever. And I was like, oh, look at these two on Valentine's Day. Like it was adorable.
I love that story. And it really brings to light, Kristen, how amazing it is to do a little kindness for somebody and how it can completely change somebody's day, right? Like, has
Yes.
anyone ever been disappointed to receive surprise flowers, right? Surprise chocolates, surprise little gift of anything is always welcome.
Right. Now I have heard there have been a few stories of people who things were delivered for them that they did not want them from the person they were sent from,
Oh,
and do occasion like that does happen. That is a thing. But I thankfully did not have that experience at all yesterday. So
Right, right. Okay, I forgot about that facet. Right.
yeah. Now the other really sweet thing is I got to deliver to a friend's parents' house yesterday, and that parent lost their spouse last year. So like that's like a see, now I am gonna get emotional for real. Like on Valentine's Day, this is a hard day to like not be with your life partner, right? So I got to see her and bring her joy and give her the best hugs. So
What an amazing day, Kristen. What a beautiful thing to be involved in. I wish I could pass this through.
yeah, sure I'll be okay. Uh, but yeah, it's fun. So
Yeah. Cool. I love that. All right, tell us your Valentine's stories if you're watching. Did you send flowers? Did you get flowers, chocolates, anything like that? Our son
yeah,
works part-time for us, so we left him a little, gift box of chocolates on his computer when he arrived at the office.
oh, I love that. Doug picked up a heart-shaped cheese pizza from Papa Murphy's last night for the girls, because he knew I had kind of like, I had a busy day, but it was a different day, and we didn't know how long I was gonna be delivering for, so he picked up Papa Murphy's, and so it was we had a relaxing night at home.
So let me ask you this. The day that you had is completely different, like out of the norm from the days that you usually have, the kind that usually
Right.
have. Oh my gosh. So in an experience like that, do you find that you're like more exhausted or worn out because your brain actually has to do different things during the day?
No, I was not yesterday, so, like, the process of delivering flowers, I think, is like you have to make sure certain things, like you have to make sure you're at the right address and that the person who's there or the person you're giving them to can get them to that person. So you always want to like verify the name and stuff. But like I was not exhausted and I ran in and out of the car a lot yesterday. But, thanks to my physical fitness training in the morning, I was well equipped for that. But no, it was really good. Like I felt energized. I felt energized during the day. So
Did the inside of your car smell amazing?
while I had flowers in it, it was amazing. It didn't stay though. They're gone and that beautiful smell is gone.
It's just that ephemeral, it doesn't even linger. Wow.
Yep. Yeah. So it was good.
All right.
Oh,
Mary
Mary.
just said, "My husband forgot to send me flowers yesterday. He usually gives jewelry. I got a beautiful heart jeweled necklace last year. Didn't get anything this year, but that's okay. I got to play and sing for the residents at Felician Village yesterday."
Aw,
Aw.
Mary, that's awesome. My dad is at Felician Village, so maybe you got to sing to him. Like, how cool would that be if he was in one of your groups? So, what a great
Yeah.
way to share the love, Mary.
Mary, that's beautiful, and thank you. That's a great example of sharing what you are passionate about and what your talents are to make this community a better place, right? Like, everybody
Right.
that got to hear you sing yesterday, you probably made their day. That's really
Right.
special.
Right, and it's special for people that maybe don't even have visitors or have somebody coming, you know what I mean? Like, in our households, even if we're not doing something special, you're like, "Oh, happy Val," there's, like, somebody there to, wish you well, but in a nursing home, sometimes there's not, so the staff or volunteers, they carry that load, and so what a special thing for them.
Yeah. Speaking of Valentine's Day, I love this picture that you sent of the heart-shaped cheese and sandwiches.
Yeah. So this like goes back. My mom used to do stuff like this when we were kids, or we would have like all red dinner, like St. Patrick's Day. My mom would like dye mashed potatoes green. Like she always just went out of her way to like have it be special. And so Monday night, I lined up sandwiches. Even Doug got one. Cut out peanut butter and jellies with my heart cutter and cheese, and then everything else, their little Ziploc bags were red, and so they all got masking tape notes on their lunch boxes yesterday.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so you use like a cookie cutter or some kind of because they are perfect.
Yeah, I used a cookie cutter and then cut them out, and Doug helped eat some of the scraps on Monday night, but it was worth it, and they loved it.
That's awesome. I used to put notes in my son's lunch every day. And sometimes it would be a joke, and sometimes it would be like a did you know? And there'd be some kind of fact. And I remember one time his principal like sidled up to him at lunch, like, I'm not sure if you should be passing notes at lunch. He's like, no, no, it's from my mom. And then the
Oh,
principal read it, he's like, oh yeah, this is cool. Okay, carry on, carry on.
I love it. That is so cool.
Okay, so Kristen, what is this? You sent me this picture, and I had to ask before the show, I'm like, did you accidentally send this? Was this like a pocket send, or what am I looking at here?
This is not a pocket send. This is the tile from our bathroom. And just for context, we've lived in our house for 8.5 years. I have walked across this tile hundreds, if not thousands of times. And my young daughters said, "Hey, do you ever see the bunny in the floor?" I was like, "What?" So they stopped me. This was last weekend and said, "There's a bunny in the floor. Do you see it?"
Is it the little white shape?
It's a little white shape. Yeah, his little, like, as they see it through their eyes, his little ears are sticking up and his little nose is sticking out. And then he's got, I mean, really the only thing he's missing is a fluffy tail. But um, I was like, never, I have never thought of this. I have never seen this, but they clearly have seen it and they have looked at it for years. And so I said, take a picture of it. And I thought, this is just like such an example of how kids look at the world through an entirely different lens.
Right. Right. And the thing is, once you see it now, you can't unsee it. And
Yes.
having that ability, like to see the world through the lens of a child is incredible, right? Like, how many little hidden things like this are we missing in our daily lives because we're not looking at it that way?
Right, right. So, and this actually came up twice last week, and this story is even way funnier. But so we were talking in the context of Doug is a former tobacco user and he chewed tobacco, but he would socially smoke cigarettes or a cigar. And so they were asking about that. And they said something about they didn't really know what a cigar looked like, and I was like, "Oh, it's a bigger thing and it's kind of dark brown." Okay. So on Dewey Street there is a billboard for one of the local smoke shops and it has cigars in the picture. So a couple of days after we have this conversation, Grace says, "Girls, right there on that billboard is cigars. That's what they look like." And they were like, "Oh." And Josie says, "I always thought those were loaves of bread." And I'm dying, right? Like, I'm laughing. I'm like, "We have to tell daddy that." And Nora's like, "That picture? I thought those were hot dogs."
Right, right. When we don't know what something is, our brain has to tell us something. We'd like try to
Right,
figure it out, place it in our world. Wow. And yeah, if you had no context for what a cigar even was, that's
right,
awesome.
right. So Nora was like, "Maybe if daddy ever wants a cigar again, I'll be like, 'Here, have a hot dog.'" And
Your kids are
again,
awesome.
I will never look at the billboard the same because it's now hot dogs and loaves of bread.
And hey, speaking of rabbits, the fact that they saw a rabbit in the floor is pretty cool because according to like the Chinese zodiac, this is the year of the rabbit.
Is it? What does that mean if it's the year of the rabbit?
Oh, I don't know. I can't keep up with all that. I just know that it is the year of the rabbit.
Okay. I thought maybe that would mean like we are gonna have a good spring in our step or we're gonna like to eat carrots. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar to like a rabbit's personality, right? So a rabbit is like gentle and sweet. I'm just making this up. Do you know what? I'm going to stop because
Maybe somebody can look that up for us and send it to us.
yeah. And it's interesting because it's a 12-year cycle, right? So the last time it was the year of the rabbit was 12 years ago.
Yeah, 12 years ago. Interesting. I have to think about that.
And speaking of rabbits, did you know that? So when we look at the full moon, right, we're like, oh, the man in the moon. In Japan, they see a rabbit in the moon.
I'm gonna have to look for that now. I did not ever hear that. We just talked about this because like before last weekend was a full moon and an early part of last week it was still very full and we got to talking about the man in the moon. So hmm, I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm looking for a very special picture of Jason and Tina.
Ah!
I do
Okay,
have
while you're doing that, I'm gonna put up this picture. It was so nice for a couple of days. Did you guys get outside? I hope you did. I mean, I get kind of pent up, kind of cabin fevery. So as soon as it's like at all okay, I try to go outside. And we're really lucky here on the coolest coast because like Lower Henry Shooty Park, for example, is such an awesome place to get away and hike around. And they've added a lot of wooden boardwalks to get you over like the mucky areas. There is still some messy spots, but it was just so good to be out. Mary, I think you're saying beautiful picture about this one. Maybe you were talking about the rabbit tile floor. I'm not sure, but
It is. I love it's nice to see some kind of walkways there because there is some kind of mushy wet spots at Shooty Park. And if there's like those little bridges, did you have boots on or what did you wear to go down there?
yeah, I had my winter boots on. I just didn't know what to expect. And yeah, they came back all muddy and like the cuffs of my pants were muddy, but it was just so worth it. So
It
good to
was,
be outside.
yeah, I took the dogs for a walk one day last week because it was in the 40s and it just was like, oh man, it's just too nice to not get outside today.
Yeah, it feels so good. And Mary confirmed, yeah, she's talking about the picture with the walkway. Thanks, Mary.
I love it.
Okay, so you guys, it turns out that Kristin is an amazing secret keeper. All right, what should I know about this, Kristin?
Well, you guys, so last Thursday night was the Chamber Awards of Distinction night. It's kind of the one time a year the Chamber of Commerce, everybody that's a chamber member gets together and kind of celebrates organizations just doing amazing things in our community. So I was very fortunate to have a little bit of a preview about this. So I learned, I don't know, 6 weeks ago
Six
that
weeks.
Jason and Tina were selected as the 2022 Joseph P. Schmidt Speak Up Award winner. And this is really about acknowledging people in our community that do amazing work, that lift people up, that help make sure that important messages get out. And they do it so beautifully. And I was so happy for you guys. And here's the best part about this. Tina thought only Jason was winning. So, Tina told Jason, like, you need to be dressed nice and you need to be there, right? But you had no idea that you were also a winner.
Right, right.
So, Tina's amazing mom, Diane, and I shared some background information on Tina and her, just everything she's done in her career. And if you don't know about Tina, just go read her bio from the Women's Summit because she's done amazing things and been all over the world. But the the moment that you realized that you also were a winner and that it was a duo, like warmed my heart so much that I had tears in my eyes for you both because I knew you were shocked and I knew you had no idea.
Thank you.
Tell us about it.
I did have no idea. So the chamber had called me and then said, okay, top secret, you can't say anything, but can you make sure that Jason is there? He's going to be getting an award. We need a few talking points. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing, right? And so happy to do whatever I could to help him be recognized. And so I was there sitting next to him, ready to get my phone out so I could record everything because, he wasn't really expecting it. I think he might have been a little suspicious because I was so insistent about we have to be on time. We have to go. Like we can't miss this. It never even crossed my mind that I was part of it. And it was amazing. And as soon as they mentioned it, like I started crying and it was an complete feeling of overwhelming gratitude. And it just felt so good to know too that all of these efforts were recognized.
Mhm.
Now we, stand on the shoulder of giants already, and it's incredible to be part of the group that's already been recognized. And there are so many people that this award could be given to. So I'm really excited, already thinking about like, okay, who's it going to be next year?
Right? I love it. And the other thing that I would say just from an acknowledgement standpoint, like this was so well deserved. You guys have worked so hard to help promote Manitowoc County. That moment when you guys were on stage was the only moment during the night that the majority of the audience was standing and applauding. I don't know if you noticed that or not. You may have been very much in the moment, but people all around the Capitol Civic Center were standing and applauding you guys. So
Wow. Wow, you guys, thank you. Kristin, I didn't know we were gonna be talking about this on the show today, so
we have
thank
to
you.
though, because you guys have made incredible investments in the coolest coast, and you always take the positive high road that helps move our county forward. And it is worthy to be acknowledged sometimes, to take a moment in time to say, look what we've done. So look what you've done.
Thank you. And Kristin, you are wise, and that is really good advice, right? Like, it is hard sometimes to talk about yourself in a positive way like that, right? It's hard to like recognize yourself. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for giving our viewers that advice too, that when there's something worth celebrating, gosh darn it, do it.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm so thankful. So
Sorry,
Tina's
Mary, here you go. Virtual tissues.
Tina's mom and dad and their son Teak were able to sneak in. We had the Capitol Civic Center staff on watch for them to sneak in so that they could be there when you guys came off. So I'm so thankful too. The weather was really bad Thursday night. I'm really thankful that your parents were able to get there safe to celebrate.
Me too. That actually was an amazing aspect of it, right? So to not only receive this award with like my best friend and partner, right? But then to know that the people that I love the most in my life, like my nuclear family, were there to see it. So for my mom and dad to see like, okay, our kid did something, right? But then
Yeah.
also for my son to like see, holy cats, my parents are making a difference. Whew.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that Teak already knows you guys are awesome.
Thanks. Thank you.
It was fun. It was a great night. We left there and went down to Bricks because we did not get there in time for the like appetizer section, and it was probably like 7:50, 8 o'clock, and I'm like, I need to eat. So we went down to Bricks and I had an amazing burger down there. It was like the perfect way to end the night.
Ooh, what burger do you get at Bricks?
Well, I'm really in this new year focused on protein. So I had a burger with bacon, an egg,
That's
and
Jason's favorite.
the third pound of beef, and then I think it had onion straws on it. It was
That's
really good.
Jason's favorite too.
I had a couple of Doug's french fries, but I only ate my burger. Like I had a side salad, I could not even eat it. I was so full, but it was like I like my burgers medium. I want them a little bit pink. It was like perfectly done and so delicious.
So that's interesting. Like the thought of putting an egg on a burger never crosses my mind, but that's Jason's favorite way to eat it too. My favorite one that they have is like a Wisconsin cherry burger. So it's
Yeah.
got like a cherry jam and cheese. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. It was good. What did you guys do? Did you do anything to celebrate after?
We like picked up some food at the grocery store and came back and celebrated with Teak.
Oh, so fun.
Yeah. But
Jason,
let's talk about let's talk about the appetizers that were at the event because I was blown away by the little chocolate. It was a flourless chocolate cake that Hala made.
okay, so I saw the Pizza Garden appetizer station, which is right in front of
Oh,
the door, which
those were
they
good.
had like cold shrimp with cocktail sauce. They had like caprese skewers, I think, with mozzarella and tomato and basil.
They had like a
Maybe
little bacon wrapped something,
okay.
which was great, and little tiny quiches.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so that was all from Pizza Garden. Tell us about the other stations because I did not get to those stations.
Do you know what? It was really like the Capitol Civic Center was full. There were so many people. And, I feel like I haven't been at a networking event quite like that since pre-pandemic. So I was chatting and circulating a lot more than eating. So I have to admit, I only got to the Pizza Garden station and the Challah Cake station. Oh, Lisa Marie said bacon wrapped water chestnuts. Yes, that's what was inside. Oh, yum, all day long.
Thank you,
Um,
Lisa.
so that's really all I got, but I did see some people were eating sushi from Izumi Sushi, and I'm not sure what else there was.
Yeah, I think there was a sushi station. I know Hala had a station and Pizza Garden. I think that might have been it.
Okay. It was great.
I could be missing something, but I heard all of it was good. So
Yeah. I really wanted to keep going back and back and back, but, I knew it was like 1 serving per person, okay.
Well, I didn't eat mine, so if you ate 2 of something, you're welcome. It's fine.
No, no, I did not. As a matter of fact, I didn't even get to eat as much as I wanted, I
Yep.
was so distracted, so
No, it was really fun. Doug and I both just had fun catching up and seeing with people, visiting. I was there with Lighthouse Recovery, which they were up for an award for Nonprofit of the Year and a collaboration award. And it was fun to be there with our employees and the board members. Lisa was there with us. Lisa's on the board with me at Lighthouse Recovery. Just bringing people together. I saw employee teams together, a lot of especially the large employers that were up for awards, they had teams of people there. And anytime you get to bring people together for something like that, it's really cool.
and
Yeah.
celebrating their accomplishments. And another really precious moment I thought during the night, Horn Ford came up with $1,000 check. And what they did is they put all of the attendees' names into like a big lottery spinner and said, whosever name we pick, they get to choose the nonprofit of their choice that $1,000 would go to. So they reached into the spinner, they called out a name, and it happened to be a little girl. She was maybe 10 years old, I'm guessing. So she got to come on stage with her grandma, and they said, all right, what charity do you want this to go to? And like, you know, I didn't even know if a 10-year-old necessarily had like that concept on their
Right.
radar. And she looked at her grandma and she looked at the microphone and she's like, grow it forward. And I just thought that is so cool that
Mhm.
she knew about this organization doing important work and, you know, understood what was happening. It touched me. It really touched me.
Yeah, that was really cool. So, insider, that was Mike and Shannon Holohan's daughter. So, the people that own Hala, that was their daughter, and I love it because they do some of their own, indoor growing at Hala. A lot of their, microgreens and stuff are from their own thing, which they, have that connection, obviously. They also support a ton of local farms, so it's no surprise that their daughter would be familiar with Grow It Forward and, making those connections, and yeah, it was really sweet. I actually saw Amber dogs at Bricks after she was out with a group of people also celebrating the evening. I was like, congratulations. Because as a nonprofit, you go to an event and you maybe, like, we didn't know money was being given away. So she went just planning to celebrate the night and got to take $1,000 back for her organization. That's pretty special.
Yeah, it's cool. And right before it happened too, she was sitting near us. I looked over at her and I said, "If my name gets picked, I'm calling your name, right?"
Oh,
So
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, it was just you're right. That was a very special moment. It was just there wasn't a lot of kids at the event. So like for somebody's name to get called and she's the guest, like very, very sweet.
yeah, she's gonna remember that forever.
Right. Right.
Wow.
Oh, I
This has
love
been
it.
so much fun. Kristen, I love your ability to lift people up and just celebrate with others. And you know
Mm,
how to bring the best out in people.
love it. I love that so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Same.
thanks.
Same girl. Same.
Well,
Somebody
thank you guys
somebody
so much.
reached out to me after the 100 Women Who Care. Sorry, I just thought of this. And said, "You are a fabulous speaker, and we need more women like you getting up in front of people and speaking." And when I think about Tina Prigge and I think about Lori Crawford and I think about some of these women we're doing the summit with next weekend, like that comes to mind. Like we have amazing women, and are we using our voices enough to pick each other up and to celebrate the wins and to talk about important things? I don't know that maybe there's not always a stage for it, but I don't know that we're doing it as often as we should. And I thought, what a first of all, just what a compliment to me. But it also really got me thinking, like, we need to make more stages for this to happen.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Good thought.
Okay.
Yeah, and by the way, Kristen just mentioned the Women's Summit. Tickets are still available through
Mm,
this Friday. So you've got
yeah,
2 more days if you wanna join the group. I think that there's a few tickets left. We would love to see you there and, grow together that day.
I know. I can't believe it's like 10 days away. Buy your
I know
tickets.
it seemed like when we planned it, when we picked February 25th, it seemed like so far in the future, and now the future is here.
It is. Very good.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for Coffee with Kristen and Tina. Thank you to Just Orthodontics for sponsoring the show. We really appreciate it, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, everyone.
Bye, guys.